So hey, what is up guys, welcome back to another video, and this is our Linux tutorial. And actually this tutorial contain all thing about Linux, and actually it also include one more and like it's really good thing, which is my handwritten notes. Yeah, my handwritten notes. So you will get these all notes of all chapters in my website. So I'm gonna open these notes and start doing Linux. So actually let's get started. So first open your notes and you can see an OS which is made by Linux kernel. You probably heard this. Okay, so an OS which is made by Linux kernel. But what is Linux? Linux is an open source OS. Kernel means anyone can make OS in Linux like Ubuntu, Parrot OS and Kali Linux. I will explain you. Actually, operating system kernels mean anyone can make operating system in that kernel, like Linux have so much popular operating system which is made in Linux. One is Ubuntu, Parrot OS, Kali Linux. Okay, so these all OS which is made in Linux called Linux distribution. Ubuntu, Parrot OS, Kali Linux are the Linux distribution. Okay, and Linux equals to an open source OS kernel in short. So now let's continue to our next. So actually, why Linux? Why we learn Linux? Why we use Linux? Reason why we use Linux is that it is fast, secure and free and powerful. So actually Linux is secure. The most plus point, like most best plus point for the Linux is that it is secure. It is secure. Like all the servers, like when you go to DigitalOcean, you will find all the servers are the Linux distribution, because Linux are secure, and that's why the hacker and in the servers use Linux. That's the reason. And let's go to the next line. When we use Linux is used in servers and hacking, etc. Okay, so Linux is used in hacking and servers because they are secure, fast and powerful, free, all of course. Because like what if the servers are made in Windows? Servers are so big and like so much servers, and like in every server we purchase Windows. Like one Windows is also so much expensive, and in all server if we buy Windows I know. Okay, so how to use Linux? There are several ways to use Linux in Windows and Mac OS, because you doesn't have a Linux machine, so you can also use Linux in Windows or Mac OS. So first is servers, and then VMs means virtual machines, and then dual boot, or you can buy a Linux laptop computer. I will talk about these all later. So let's continue. So here you can see dual boot means install Linux in your machine and then you can boot Windows, Mac and Linux. Means you have two operating system in your machine, and in your boot menu you have choice Windows, Mac OS or Linux. So you can boot, you can choose one and then your computer will boot from that. And actually this is not recommended for me. Yeah, VMs means virtual machines. Like in your home you have some rooms, and when guests come to your house you share rooms with him. Virtual machines are similar. Home is your computer, rooms are your computer resources or specs, and guest is VM, means virtual machine. So actually you have some rooms, like this is a room. Okay, okay, this is a room. Okay, and I live in this room. And what if guests come in this room? Guests come to my house. Like this whole room is my okay. But when the guests come, I need to share rooms with them. Okay, means the like I am the computer resources. This room is computer, and the guest is the virtual machine. Okay, I hope you understand it. And now the next is server. You can use Linux without installing in your browser. Without installing it, I forget writing it here. You can use Linux without installing it in your browser with servers. Yeah, GUI and CLI, or only CLI. So actually, what is this CLI? What is this GUI? What is it? I will explain you later. So just to use Linux in servers, you have two options. One is DigitalOcean, or like AWS, or any of the services which provides servers, or you have the hack the box hack the box Linux fundamentals. Okay, hack the box Linux fundamentals. Okay, now you can see. Okay, this is a course which contains all the Linux, and it has a workstation. Means when you go and interact with it, you can use Parrot OS in your browser. Yes. So now let's continue. First, there is a problem. Okay, dual boot not recommended. Okay, VMs need a good PC, good computer. Servers need good internet. But if you have no choice, you can buy a Linux computer laptop. So I'm telling you one Linux computer which is called Raspberry Pi, or I'm gonna go to Amazon first. Amazon.in. I'm in the India, so I'm gonna go to Amazon.in, and then I'm gonna say the Raspberry Pi 4. It's a very cheap. Now you can see this is a full kit of the Raspberry Pi. Okay, you can buy this. This is so much cheap. Yeah, 5,000 for a computer. Like 5,000 for a computer. It's a 2 GB model, but you can buy like 4 GB model. You can see this 8 GB model. Okay, so this is very teeny computer which has the Raspbian OS. You can see Raspberry Pi 4 computer model B, 8 GB RAM. So actually it also has Linux, so you can also buy it. It is very cheap, and yeah, it work for you. I'm gonna say like it also has some kit 4 GB RAM. I'm gonna say this, you got this. Okay, so you can buy these kit like 6,000, and if you have a monitor, you don't need to buy a second monitor. But if you don't have, you can also buy monitor, or you can use your TV as your monitor. Okay, and now let's continue. Actually, how to install and use Linux VM. So actually the most powerful is virtual machine. I literally like the virtual machine method, so I am also going to tell you, but you can use any of them, but yeah, except dual boot. Yeah, but you also have no like you have no money to, so you can also use dual boot. Actually, yeah. How to install and use Linux VM? Go to your browser and search VirtualBox. So I'm going to say VirtualBox, VirtualBox download, and you got the link. Go here, virtualbox.org, and inside of this you can see this Windows host. If you are on the Mac OS, you can download Mac OS X, but I'm on the Windows, so I'm gonna click on Windows host, and you can see it is downloading. Yay! it is 103 MB file. So when it is installing, I'm gonna say download virtualbox, also install it, and then search Kali Linux download. So actually I'm gonna say Kali Linux. Kali Linux. Kali Linux is an operating system of the Linux. So first I'm gonna install this VirtualBox. Yeah. Next. 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 Yes. Install. Now it is installing. Yes. And now it is installing. Let it install. So actually go to this downloads Kali Linux, click on this, and then let it load. And now I'm gonna not say start. Okay, and now you can see this all things 32-bit, but I'm gonna say here you can see, and then click on the link and go to the bottom of the page. Okay, here you can see this bottom of the page, Kali Linux VirtualBox. Click here, click on this button. When you click on this button, you get this, and click on this Kali Linux VirtualBox images, because we are not using VMware. You can also use, but yeah, it's an heavy software. So I'm gonna use Kali Linux VirtualBox and click on this to download it. Actually, you can download for 32-bit or 64-bit. So actually, I have already downloaded this Kali Linux VirtualBox 64-bit OVA. So now I'm gonna go to folder where I download this. You can see this Kali Linux VBox AMD 64 OVA, and then I'm gonna open VirtualBox. I'm gonna open the VirtualBox, and then inside of this I'm gonna click on the file and then import appliance, and I'm gonna click here to choose my Linux tutorial, and then this Kali Linux 2021.2.1 VBox AMD 64. I'm gonna select this and click on next. And now here you can see you can name your virtual machine. I'm gonna go to the notes. Okay, so double click to open it in the VirtualBox. You can also double click, so it will automatically open it inside of the VirtualBox. Yeah, select how much resources you want to share with your VM. So actually, first I'm gonna name it Kali Linux only. Kali Linux. Kali Linux. And you can name it anything, okay? And then it says how much CPU you want to give to your Kali Linux. I'm gonna give it 2, and I'm gonna give it 2 GB RAM. 248 means 200 GB, and I'm gonna leave it all default, and I'm gonna just edit the location on D, and then next tutorial I'm gonna make a new folder Kali Linux. I'm only gonna do that all thing in this folder. You can do it on any folder, okay? It's upon your choice. I'm gonna click on import. You can see here in the notes when they select how much resources and then click import. I'm gonna click on import, and then I'm gonna click on agree, and now you can see it is importing this VM virtual machine, and it says when the import is finished, click on the start button to start your VM. When it asks for the username and password, type kariye. Okay, I will explain you. First, let it import this all thing. I'll meet you later. So now when it done this importing, you can go to the notes and say when the import is finished, click OK to start your VM. So I'm gonna click also start button. That's it. First I open my task manager to see how much my RAM is using. Okay, my 1.7 GB RAM is free. I'm gonna click on start, and now it is in starting my virtual machine. You can see this is a machine inside a machine. You can see F12 to select boot menu, and now we are inside of this Kali Linux. I'm gonna hit enter, and we are at the Kali Linux. In the comment, say congratulations for you and also me, because we made it a machine. We took our first step in the this Linux tutorial, and yeah, I'm gonna close this, and now you can see, move to the notes, and you can see when it asks for the username and password, type Kali. Okay, because the by default username is Kali, I'm gonna say Kali, Kali, and click on login. That's it. And now you are at the Kali Linux. So actually I'm gonna, yeah, now we are at the Kali Linux. You can see we can also open our terminal, we can also close it, I can move, I can make a document, hello.txt, and yeah, that's it. I can also type something here. We finally made our virtual machine, which has Kali Linux operating system. So that's it. Yeah, our introduction is completed, but yeah, something I doesn't tell you in the notes, so I'm gonna tell you. So actually there are two ways to interact with your Linux. First is CLI, and the second is GUI. So actually when you click on this home button, you can see this folder. You can also see in the windows, you can see this beautiful folder, and you can also see it here. And actually the second thing is CLI, means command line. One is graphical user interface and one is command line interface. So you can see here. So actually the GUI way is easy, okay, but CLI way is better. Okay, all like when you use Linux, CLI is the best thing to do interact. So I can enter all of my code here and use it. Actually also in the GUI I can do the same thing. So actually I will understand in the next chapter, and I will see you in the next chapter. Bye bye.